So the Packers had two picks in the second round of last year's draft, and one of those picks is easily going to be a Pro Bowler in this league. Is going to have a very good career. The 44th pick or 45th pick in the second round was Edrin Cooper, and we already know that this dude is going to be an absolute stud. The 58th pick in the second round of last year's draft, the Green Bay Packers selected Georgia little stick of dynamite, Javon Bullard. And when you take a look at the Green Bay Packer roster that's there on your screen right there, you've got Jeff Hafley is going to be faced with a very massive decision. What do I mean by that? Okay, so you take a look at Javon Bullard and the talent that this dude has. So coming out of college, you take a look, he had an RAS score of an 8.25 out of 10, which is really good. He's got elite speed, elite and great agility grade. So where does he fit in on the Green Bay Packers defense? And where is Jeff Hafley going to utilize his skill set to get the best out of, their investment of a second round draft pick? So you look at the Packers safeties, you got Evan Williams, Zane Anderson, you got Xavier McKinney, Katano Ladapo. Okay, so those are your safety core right there. And then you look at the nickelback position for the Packers. They go out and they sign Nate Hobbs this offseason. They threw money at him because they believe in him and they believe that he's going to be a really good nickelback for the Green Bay Packers, and he could be used on the end as well. But then you've got Javon Bullard, Kalen King, Gregory Jr. So you look at the Packers depth chart there. So let's look at the safety position. Right now, you've got Evan Williams, who really rose to the cream above the crop, right? Evan Williams was one of those guys that I was like, oh my gosh, he and Xavier McKinney, they look like one of the better duos of safeties out there in the entire league. When we talk about duos and the talent that this up and coming guy has in Evan Williams, overall PFF score of a 72.4, one interceptions, two pass breakups, and I think he had one forced fumble. So you look at, he had overall grade of a 72.4, pass rush grade, could get a little bit better at that, but I'd rather have him in coverage, run defense. He knows how to tackle. We've seen some open field tackles, 64.5, and then coverage grade. That's what you want to hone in on, was a 72.1. And then you look at Xavier McKinney, the talent that this dude is and the talent that he has. 8 interceptions, 3 pass breakups. I think he had a couple of forced fumbles, all of that. This dude is a turnover machine. Perfect fit for what Jeff Hafley said he was going to set out to do, which is create turnovers. And this was one of those key contributors to the success that Jeff Hafley had as defensive coordinator in Green Bay year one. I'm excited to see what he can do year two. So you look at an overall PFF score of an 84.8, pass rush grade of a 74.2, run defense grade of a 67.6. Again, not as concerned about that, more concerned about the coverage grade of a 90, right? That's huge. And then comparatively, how does that rate amongst the other safeties in the league? So highest graded safeties, PFF last year. Number one, Kirby Joseph out of Detroit had a 90.4. Then you had Hamilton out of Baltimore, super talented, not a surprise there. He had a 90 grade. And then you had Brandon Jones out of Denver at an 84.8. And then you had Xavier McKinney right there at an 84.7. And it says Xavier McKinney was one of the big prizes of the 2024 free agent class, which kudos to Brian Gutekunst to go out and do that. They paid him 4 years, $67 million. McKinney had a 90.2 PFF coverage grade and 8 interceptions, each trailed behind Kirby Joseph among safeties. That was it. McKinney was also a sure tackler, as his 5.4 missed tackle rate ranked 12th best among the 106 that qualified at the safety position in that category. Xavier McKinney is an absolute beast. Okay, so then you look at the nickelback position and you're dealing with Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is obviously, I think, he's better suited at the nickelback position, and clearly that's why Brian Gutekunst went out and saw a need there. Why did he see a need there? Well, you look at Javon Bullard had an overall PFF score of a 52.3, needs improvement, right? So let's take a look. Coverage grade, and that's what I want to hone in on this because we looked at Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney, who excelled in the coverage grade. This is his downfall. As of right now, a 46.9. That's not going to cut it in this league. And it's not going to cut it on the Green Bay Packers defense. So where is his home? And this is going to be something to watch for because the Green Bay Packers went and they spent a 58th pick on him. I'm not saying it was a bad pick. Javon Bullard has, a lot to offer. His run defense grade of a 67. Okay. He excels at that. We know that he's a great open field tackler. We know that he can disrupt. We know that he can create havoc when he hits you. And that's very big for what Jeff Hafley's defense is looking to accomplish, looking to do. But we know that iron sharpens iron. And then when you look at the Packers defense, Javon Bullard is going to be one of those dudes that's going to have to really step up to the occasion to get some playing time. But where does he get the playing time? Because that nickelback, you're already seeing and hearing some good things already this season in OTAs with Kalen King and just how good and productive he's looking out there. And then the Green Bay Packers go and get Gregory Jr. Um, they go and get this guy. So he's a talent there. So then you look and you've got Javon Bullard, Nate Hobbs, Kalen King, Gregory Jr. Javon Bullard almost feels like he fits a little bit better at the safety position than he does nickelback because his coverage grade, I think he would be better at the safety position to really excel there and kind of rotate in there, but he's not going to get playing time over Evan Williams. Evan Williams has that it factor. He's got that something special factor. Xavier McKinney, he is that something special, right? He's one of the better safeties in the league. And PFF had him fourth raked, and this dude is something special. So where does Javon Bullard fit? I want you guys to leave your comments. Where would you like to see him fit on this team? Because as it sits right now, Jeff Hafley is going to be faced with a huge decision because Oladapo is one of those prospects that he could be good too, and he could steal some playing time. Then you got Micah Robinson at corner. I mean, do you throw him at a corner position or something? Try to utilize him. Where do you put him on defense? Because nickel position, I mean, he did play a lot of that last season, but again, his coverage grade is not the best. So if you are Jeff Hafley, and you're running the defense, where are you going to place Javon Bullard? Because I think he could be in jeopardy of losing that, a considerable amount of playing time. But this is a good problem for the Packers to have, is that you've got a guy like Javon Bullard who's got elite talent. He's got a lot of talent. But where do you plug and play him in there? Because the Packers' depth is just so deep and so young and so good. Leave your comments, and as always, go Pack Go.